even a thing anymore?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Still a thing.
I straight up watched a girl eat like soap the other day.
What? Eat soap?
Yeah, it was kind of entertaining. It's supposed to taste like cake or something. Some girl ate a shoe. It was good.
That is terrifying.
Balloons in the studio.
Yeah.
We got the primary colors here. Welcome back. Hello, everybody, to a very, very jovial episode of Cruisin the Planet, episode 76. I don't know if I titled it properly. I did title it properly. Okay, come on. We got a show to run. If you were able to hear it, we had ourselves a little bit of balloon ASMR while...
Oh, this was the best one. Here
yeah,
it goes.
go ahead,
Okay.
Taylor.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I really don't.
You don't like ASMR? You don't like the balloon?
I don't like this one.
Oh, really?
Like rain sounds, like natural sounds work for me.
Oh,
No, don't shush me.
This is the thunder, and this is the rain.
It's not. It's not, though. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Or not.
I'm sorry.
No, do you need to take that?
I'll just
No,
continue
okay.
my ASMR will.
We have balloons in the studio because it is Station Manager Lance's birthday.
Yo! Happy birthday!
Cole went about instilling an extra dimensional terror inside of Lance's room.
Oh, yes.
Did a bunch of balloons and then
40.
put up 40 balloons.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Okay. Jeez.
20 per pack, about 2 packs. 40.
That's awesome.
Jiminy Christmas. A bunch of balloons, some streamers,
Yeah.
and Alien and Minion were both dressed up for fun little stuff. If you don't know who Minion is, you haven't been watching the shorts. I think we only included him in one, though, so I don't know.
Should do more.
Next week's short will
Changing
probably
color.
have Minion in it because, as you may have surmised from the title here, we have a little bit of a something going on. I am leaving.
I know.
Officially, everything is in the works. I am out of here next week. Actually, as Cruisin the Planet goes to upload next week, like at that time will be when I leave, like lock the studio and leave
Wow, that's really sad.
officially. I'm a little bit anxious. I'm a little bit nervous, to be completely fair and honest.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm able to have... Shay has already left for the summer. We said our goodbye right before lunch.
Aww.
I then ran off and got my second Moderna shot. We can talk about that in a little bit.
Ooh.
And then my shoes come untied.
Nice.
And then,
It's good.
but I've got you two on this episode. One, because
Yes,
it's a bit more
the best
jovial.
two.
And then next week, we will have Rissa, Jake, and possibly Carly. It depends on if Carly is
Ooh.
feeling all right and able to make it in. Haven't talked with her about it. She's currently in quarantine because I believe her significant other has the COVID.
The vid.
I
That
don't
sucks.
believe symptoms are too insane. Haven't gotten much of an update, but Carly seems to be locked down inside of their room. I definitely feel for them. Have had multiple COVID scares, so much so that I've very surreptitiously.
Ooh. Wow, that's
I
a
couldn't-
big word.
I couldn't figure the word out, actually. I ruined it. I've gotten my second Moderna shot because I've
Ooh.
had too many COVID scares.
Oh, wow.
Both you and I, fully vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated as of
Nice.
right now. I quite literally got in 20 minutes late to the station because of it. Or 15 maybe.
It
I
was
wasn't
15.
checking.
It was
I wasn't
15.
checking.
Yeah.
Scrambled to get
Target.
everything set up. I got the vaccine. The problem was, the reason I was so late, I got there as soon as I could at like 12:15, and then it just took so long because there was one nurse who was going through. She was doing a great job too. Like didn't even recognize when like the needle was in my arm. One who was able
They
to
do a
like
good job up there. Mhm.
keep you focused on something else, just conversating, and then the waiting period. But because of that, there was like a line, and I was stuck in the back.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
It's
That
weird
sucks.
too, because like you're 6 feet away from each other, so it doesn't. If there's like 4 people there, you're
It
like
still feels like a long line.
it feels like a short line,
Oh.
but you're waiting for people to get a shot. and everyone is like kind of moving at a like really slow pace. To be completely frank,
Yeah.
this is not a review of the Stephenville vaccine
No, it's just
center.
anxious.
At no point was I supposed to be like running in and being like, shoot me, get me right now, come on. It was a level of just like, okay, here's my ID, here's my card, here's my ID, here's my card, here's my QR code. All right, left arm, baba-da-boo, walk to a different part of the building. Here's
Just
my,
wait for
here's
15
my card.
minutes.
15 minutes of just dead time.
Yep.
And then, here's my card. I am allowed to leave. Sick.
Yep.
So now I
That's how it
have
goes.
my little card. I'm free to traverse the world. I've already tested it. I've had 3 doorknobs licked on the way in. So
What the-
should be figuring out how strong.
You
Oh
licked
my
3
God.
doorknobs?
Isn't that what it's for?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm amused you had all 3 door licks. Like, you
Well,
licked it
there's-
3 times?
So like no. I had 3 different doors licked. So there's the one in the front of the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's the math building door.
Yeah.
And there was the door to leave.
Yeah, and you licked them?
All 3 of them.
Nice. How was it?
Okay, so
it
the one
tasted
to leave
gross.
was very sterile.
Okay.
A lot of Germex was like
Nice.
slightly layered
good.
on. That's a good sign.
It's a healthy lick.
Math
my
building,
God.
however,
Oh.
Ridiculous.
no one's cleaning their hands before that.
Mm.
That one's got me worried.
Oh.
Oh.
Did you get like a little Cheeto, little oil?
Very brass flavored.
Oh.
Brass.
Gross.
Like very brass flavored.
Nice.
And then you didn't even see me on the one outside.
No.
Just stainless steel. Barely anything.
That's
Everyone
good.
uses the wood, I think, to open that door. So
Yeah.
we're good.
That's cool.
Mm.
That's good.
Yep.
But
So-
I will not be in a couple of weeks because of that sickness. Definitely not me leaving.
Yeah. Well, so what you doing? Where are you going? Should we talk about that?
Yeah. So I don't know at what level am I allowed to sort of promote what I'm working on, just because I don't want to start spilling a bunch of beans, because I've literally started like writing out secrets that only I can view.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
However, I am taking a break from academics over the summer, and I'm moving over to live with some friends in Keller.
Ooh.
All right.
I am going to work a part-time job there. I've got like multiple options to work in that area. The most interesting one is the bartending position. That I have a job at the restaurant no matter what.
Mhm.
I have a 1.5 years of food experience. I'll have my food handler's license. I can go up for my tab C at any point, and my buddy is basically, he's not officially the manager there, but like he opens and closes
All right.
regularly. Shout out to my homie Trevor, thank you. He is who I'm going to be moving in with as well, and so that'll just make it easy on our schedules.
That's cool.
If we're all because we're all going to split. There's 5 of us. We're having some difficulty finding a house right now.
Mm.
However, we may have to. I have come up with an interesting solution to our problems, which is finding apartments, but are all in the same building
That makes sense.
and trying to
yeah.
be neighbors.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
As like a last ditch, we are looking at 4-person houses right now, or possibly even a couple of other 5-person houses. The biggest problem with 5-person houses, it seems, is that they are immediately snatched up.
Oh yeah.
Like the day they get on the market, they
Around
are
this area,
out.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So we're looking at either dropping somebody out of the 5-man group to go to a 4-man house, which is a rough conversation, or possibly splitting apartments, maybe 3 and 2, or I don't know, probably 3 and 2, to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
completely candid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's an
And then-
interesting new step.
The big reason that I'm doing all of that, you'd kind of think like, oh, what is why do that when you're here? I have finally, after quite literally like 3 years, I believe, of figuring out, maybe 4 years, because I was here as a DJ.
Yep.
And then I took that year off, and that's when I started writing. Is that year off when I was working night shift. Then I came here to learn how to do podcasting, and I've been here for 2 years now.
Mhm.
So 4 years ago, I set out to learn as much as I could about podcasting, such that one day I could take the big leap and make my own show.
Yeah.
And I've quite literally yesterday I've created a folder specifically just titled podcast that holds my various notes. We can just sort of describe how many pages I've built out,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a lot of docs.
an excessive
man.
amount of documents. I've started on a calendar piece. I've done episode structures, various lists of referential material, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's good. Like, not a lot of people realize that it's not just like sitting a microphone in front of you and talking. You know, podcasts take a lot more work than that.
Yesterday was the big like solidifier when I created a marketing strategy.
All right.
Like, here's an entire page for my marketing plan. I have it color coded. Look at that,
Ooh,
rainbow.
That's nice.
I have off-season work, on-season work. I can say it'll be a seasonal show that continues releasing things during its off-season. It's just kind of the way that I wanted to do it, and podcasting allows for enough structure, non-structure to just kind of do that, where I can be like, here are 13 episodes or however many episodes that are specifically story. You can expect them all to be roughly a 3-act structure. You get, it'll be a comedy or a tragedy or an adventure piece. It'll be something along those lines. But I've just always enjoyed short stories, and so I read tons of short stories. I quite literally put together a new list of short stories I want to read through. I've got, I think, the Kate Chopin collection that I want to read through. W.W. Jones, the guy who wrote The Monkey's Paw. He wrote a bunch of other horror stories. And then Tales from the Weird. There's like a bunch of collections of short stories. There's a collection of collections of short stories, but I'm just going to start with a small collection.
Well, cool.
I've always enjoyed short stories. I would much rather spend my time reading like something that is within the 3-act or like that can get done in a day than something that is like a long novel. And that in no point means that I hate long novels. I think we talked about it when we were talking about the like annotating in your books episode on that.
Last week, I think, yeah.
That couldn't have been last week. Yeah, it was last week. Goodness gracious.
I told you it was last week.
Should never doubt Cole.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Always
You
right.
are the graduate assistant.
A wise one.
But
No
indeed.
sarcasm.
Indeed.
Thank you.
But yeah, I am. I've created a marketing plan, an advertising plan. I found out some fun numbers that like made. At first, I had this like really large, slightly unattainable goal for before I would start getting into monetization, which like everyone has their opinions on the consumer end. It's like boo, sell out. On the producer's end, that's like low key the dream to like
That makes sense.
do something. I want to do something and get paid for it.
Yeah.
Your
but
work is valuable.
Yeah.
well, I was going back through the math now that I've made like a genuine plan, and just to be in the top 50% of podcasts, your newest episode within the last 7 days. So like when you release an episode on Monday and you check Sunday, if it has 26 or more downloads, you're in the top 50% of podcasts.
Oh, wow.
Like already.
Wow.
That's from the most recent data I've looked up. To be in the top 25%, you just need 72 or more downloads in the first week.
All right.
Which
cool.
I think is really kind of cool. That like, because the original idea that I was going at was like the 50,000 downloads in the first month to be part of the big boy. Like that's success.
Yeah.
But at this level, and I looked through with this as well as like a production schedule and like a marketing strategy, as well as eventually an advertisement strategy, because the idea is to kind of turn it into a personal business.
Yeah.
It's very doable. I was looking through all of it, and it's like there's an affiliate marketing I could go through, dynamic ad insertion, YouTube ads, like what we do on this show. That was actually a huge thing I realized after we like did that here. I was like, oh, I could release it on YouTube and as a podcast. Yeah. And YouTube does its own inherent marketing within its stuff, and a lot of people really love watching videos. So, and you know, just sort of, it's an easy thing to be like, oh yeah, check out my show, it's on YouTube, whatever. If somebody's like not into podcasting, but they still want to like listen to long form media.
Sure.
And so I just have like continued, I mean, as you can see, I've continued gathering more and more information and data, and I've written a couple of stories here and 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 here. But I need to start releasing them. I just do.
Yeah.
I've quite literally hit a point where it's like I can continue to prepare for this and wait until I'm like done with college, or I can just do this.
Yeah.
And even when I'm done with college, I'm still going to want to do this. And it's like, it's a bit of a really risky step, I know that, because it's quite literally I'm going from like structured to unstructured. But
some people thrive off unstructured stuff, so
yeah, hopefully I do.
Yeah.
I would think so. Y'all know me a bit as rather chaotic.
You're
Well,
structured
good luck to you.
chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
you.
it's a good decision. I think you should just go for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is not a popular decision, though. I'll tell you that. There are definitely
You're right.
probably some people in my life who are rather upset,
You're right. It's
or
not
are
a
going to be
popular
upset when I
decision.
tell them, like, hey, I haven't finished college yet.
Well, you gotta make your own decisions at some point, and try to get some semblance of like individuality as a person. So that sometimes means taking risks.
That's
It
true.
happens.
And this one almost isn't a risk either, in my genuine opinion, just because while I'm doing this, I'm going to be working a job that like covers my cost of living and gets me savings. Podcasting is like low key a really cheap hobby. That's actually also why I'm really in love with it, because like it only takes time. It doesn't take money and time like a lot of other hobbies.
That's true.
Quite literally, like a tea subscription service is worth about the same as it is to host a podcast. So Cole, you could do both.
I know. I thought about getting a tea subscription.
Have you seen Dollar Tea Club?
No.
We'll talk later.
Ah,
We'll go through it later on the show. Actually, we have enough time. We can totally go through that. You'll love it. These will be my parting gifts to each of you
yes.
as I leave. But like podcasting, you just need to pay for hosting, and then if you ever do advertising, if it's not social media, it's paid for. Like
Sure.
all of those sorts of things, you just do. If you end up, if it's a short story thing, or like if you end up doing a Patreon, you make shirts, then people can buy your shirts, so you might have inventory on that end. But like it's as much as you want to do. It's as much as you want to put into it. I've always wanted to have a book at one point that is just like, here's I wrote this. This is my book, and like here's another book that I wrote, and a couple of these seasons that I have structured. Yes, I have seasons structured out too that I've like come up with the whole ideas for that. I think I have 5 so far. They're not done, but they're figured out.
Yeah.
Being figured out, but like each season could be its own novel. I
Sure.
think at minimum like a big book, which isn't exactly what I had planned on, but it's just all like this is just so much more enticing in my opinion to do right now versus waiting on it, letting it sort of sit, and at a certain point, like it's told like be patient, wait on your ideas until they're at a point where you can achieve them. But like if I'd wait till after college, I've thought about this an excessive amount of time. I wait till after college, and then I do it anyways. Why did I wait those 2-3 more years?
Yeah.
And when I know I can do it right now. And those 2 or 3 more years, if we're talking about trying to do it for a living, are super worth it. Because it, just like anyone says with the stock market, it was like I wish I had started releasing episodes sooner. Because the old shows are the ones that benefit. The longer your show has been out. At no point am I expecting this like next week to suddenly have a huge like number one podcast.
You're just waiting. You're
My
getting
goal
started so that a
yes.
year or 2 years from now that'll
My
be
goal is after season 1, season 2 is in the top 50%. Each season, I just wish for a few more subscribers and a few more people to hop on until I hit a certain point where I don't have to work a second job. Or I continue working a second job, keep doing the show, and then instead of a second job, I just go back to college and get a marketing degree. Like I've already come back to college once. It's not like I'm giving up on education. Either.
Yeah.
And so there's no real risk in my opinion. Am I like crazy?
I mean, I think there is a level of risk, for sure. But
Get hit by a car, you're right.
I just mean that there is no guarantee that you'll have the numbers, but for your life and for your decisions, it's probably the best thing you're gonna do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
is to take the risk.
worst case scenario, you don't get the numbers right away, but you're still like earning money and saving up, and you're going for it.
Yeah.
So, and you know, it's out there. So even if you're still doing it and it's not going too far, so what? You go back to school, you know, and it's still going to sit there, and you already did it. So
True.
it's already waiting.
True.
It's already
Yeah.
growing.
You
I
don't want to have the regrets.
I won't
that
have a
happen.
regret. I was
Yeah.
just thinking
Yeah,
that.
you don't have to be a full-time student to go back to college. Like, even if you just wanted to finish it out and take a little bit at a time
Mm-hmm.
while you're doing your podcasting.
My brother took 10 years to finish his degree because he
Wild.
just took like night classes when he could.
Right.
But he finished it, and he's better for it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take as long as you need.
It's
Mhm.
hard to leave college and then come back. And that's what most people are scared of, but like you've already done it.
True.
So you've already been through it, and at the end of the day, you did decide to come back. So if that's truly what you want to do, you're not afraid
Mhm.
to come back and do it.
Well, I see college very differently than I guess most people do, and I've seen it very differently for a long time. And this is not me going like, I figured it out, you fools. You absolute imbeciles. I'm better than you. This is me like seeing it as if I'm paying for this course.
Yeah.
And I've paid for a lot of courses. So maybe that's what caused it. But things like paying for like Patreons so that I can attend classes put on by digital media people, or paying for marketing seminars, or paying for Adobe accreditation tests.
Right.
I've gone through a series of these different things. Like Masterclass exists now. Linda's, I think it's called lynda.com, does something similar, or was one of the early versions of it. I would always end up purchasing like not self-help books, but like how to do this thing, a book,
Yeah.
like for the tutorial for dummies type of stuff.
Yeah.
Paying for the knowledge to learn things. College, I've never felt the degree as being super useful and powerful for me to do what I want to do. I've always felt having the knowledge and portfolio of, I know how to solve this problem, this problem, this problem. I can create these things. I know these tools.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's my like resume. My portfolio is I've worked on this project, made this, made this, made this.
Yes.
And I feel like that's so much more useful, because instead of a company seeing you as like the best or the best gamble, they immediately, in the event that I ever go into like large corporate work, immediately are just like, oh, you already know what's going on,
Right.
and you want to come and work for us, instead of a level of just like, I have a marketing degree and I'm ready to test out my knowledge. It's just never, I've just never
Real life
felt it.
application.
Exactly. I've never felt that like a piece of paper is going to get me in somewhere, especially growing up at like the time that we all grew up, which is like, I watched multiple older friends. I was in a very old neighborhood for my age. When I was 5, I had a bunch of friends in high school type of stuff. Not 5, but like say 10. All my other friends were in high school at the time. So like when I got to high school, early high school, they all went to college. And then when I got early into high school, they came back from college very quickly, or graduated from their older siblings graduated from college, came back to the house, began studying and applying for another degree. And I was like, how many degrees do you need to get through all of this? Like, how many degrees? They was like, you want a bachelor's at minimum, you want a master's if you really want to do what you need to do. I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's not the same for everyone. Like I very much resonate with your views on it. For example, in music, like I am, you know, there's probably some 12-year-old on the other side of the world living my dream. So you don't have to go to college to do that. You know, if you're applying for something and it's say playing the trumpet, I can have a doctorate and play the trumpet, but if there's a 6-year-old who can play the trumpet better than me, they're gonna pick who can play. So I go to college. You're just like, you know, with your same mentality. You are just equipped with the tools that you want.
Yeah.
And I had a professor, and he's actually the professor that motivated me to switch my major without knowing it. But
like he didn't know
he
you
didn't
switched majors because of him. Oh,
yeah, but
that's a cool one.
Yeah. So he said that to be in college with music, you don't need it. He said the only reason you really are here is, if there's some things you want to learn, know what those are, pick them up. But really, it's to make connections.
Mm.
Because
Networking.
although you're not best friends with the digital media people,
Yeah.
get to know them, because then when you're like, ooh, I need cover art. Oh, I remember so-and-so's name.
Exactly. You
Mm.
actually, that happened recently for your new
Yes.
podcast that you're working on, Music
Yes, it
Business Babes.
Mm-hmm.
You had you had a digital media person from here,
Yeah, who
a
graduated.
previous worker, graduated. You had them make your image.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
It's a scary picture, y'all, by the way. Like
not
they've got
It's
they've got some like
beautiful.
boss character poses going on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, they do.
Quite like anime intro
We're babes.
going on. I would
It looks
definitely.
good. It looks
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's about, yes, you're learning. Like,
Mm.
I do have a better ear for being in college. I understand theory. I understand forms of music. And,
Yeah.
you know, I was able to work here. So I have experience editing audio and going through the processes. And instead of just learning about distributors, now I get to experience one. And now I'm part of, you know, like the process to go through. And,
Yeah.
and, you know, starting a podcast, it's nothing new. Like, I'm talking on one. But,
Yeah.
yes, I'm starting one, too. So
Right.
it's not...
There's a lot of
You know.
technical stuff to podcasts.
Yeah.
Like you have to know how to edit a URL and an RSS feed.
Yeah.
Things that are like
Mm.
quite literally, I'll tell you right now, things that are not simple, even if you've done it before. Because I've done it before, and right now I'm having problems with Apple Podcasts specifically. Update your freaking site, guys. I'm busy here. I got work to do.
Yeah. But even the fact that, you know, coming here and, for example, like the fact that I know you and if you blow up and you're a podcaster, you know, which I think you will.
Thank
but
you.
You're welcome. And, you know, if I need help with something having to do with podcasts, now I don't have to go fishing for somebody who knows
Yeah.
what to do. I'm like, oh, I have a friend. He
Yeah.
even knows who I am.
Yeah.
So, you know, you'd be willing to answer a question for me rather
Yeah.
than going through a long process.
Mhm.
So it's a lot about, at least for music people, it's a lot about connections and then just finding out what you need to find out. You know, not necessarily the paper at the end of it, because if you make it through it, everyone gets the same piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's just different writing. But
And like
it's
bachelor's
nice
degree is quite
to look
literally
at.
just like whatever the bachelor's degree is.
Yeah.
You have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
We'll let you in.
You should go just do what you want to do. And
Mhm.
if you've learned everything you can, I mean, personally, like I could probably leave right now
Yeah.
and be set. But I've got like a semester left, really.
Right.
So I'm just going to hang on.
And if I was at that point, I'm completely on board. Like, if it's not taxing,
Yeah.
it's not taxing
Yeah,
you to
no.
be like, oh, I'll stay one
Yeah.
more semester.
And one semester is
ma-
not a big difference.
a semester and a
making
summer
music for
course.
me. Yeah.
That's not going to ruin you.
Right.
Versus on my end, I would have to dedicate so many more resources.
Yeah. Everyone's
Like
different.
mathematically, that I would be putting this off even more.
Yeah.
And in those 4 years of learning, this show has completely changed. Every single time I've touched it, like every year, quite literally, it would be a different show, a more like adjusted, and it was more developed, but it's hit a critical point right now that if I was to keep meddling with it, it would quite literally spoil. The idea itself, the novelty of it, the level of like excitement I have, and I have a real fear that I will wait on it too long and lose interest. Then I have a genuine regret on it because it's like I worked for 4 years on this as a hobby, as like basically a part-time, and I just kind of let it sit and I'm done with it. I don't even like reincorporate it because every time I would change the scope of the project, I would go grab the bones of the old project and refit them into this new thing, so it was more layered and complicated, but fun.
Yeah.
And this is as deep and intricate as it can get, because I've built myself a skeleton that I can fill in however I'd like, and it's a amazing playground for me to work in.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I figured it out.
That's cool.
There was an older woman. She was in a nursing home. And somebody asked her, I heard this story from somewhere. I don't remember where.
Somewhere.
But they asked her, it's like, what's one piece of advice you could give the younger generation? And the girl who asked this woman was in college. And the older woman said that she went to college and she studied, I forgot what she said she studied. And she graduated, and it was like a year into her job, doing what she thought she wanted to do. She thought, she had a passion for something else.
Yeah.
But she was, she didn't want to waste her college time. She had the degrees. So she had spent, 5 years now? Because 4 years of college plus the 1 year of doing it. And she's like, well, I didn't want to waste those 5 years. And this woman is 70, 80 years old. And she said, my advice to you is I would have much rather wasted 5 years of my life than wasted 50 years of my life.
Yeah.
So, everyone's different. Yeah. And you have, my saying I say is, you have the rest of your life to do the rest of your life. So you should just do what you want to do. If it turns out you don't want to do it, you can always figure something else out.
That's true. I'm not like
that's a good point.
Committing the rest of my life to this either. I'm turning 22 in 2 weeks. And so I'm hitting a point.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. And so on one level, from my perspective, I'm like, I'm a third of the way into my life. Grandpa only made it to this age. Grandma didn't make it much past that. It's over. It's over, man. It's over.
About that, man.
But then immediately afterwards, I was just like, shut up, dude. How much have you gotten done in 22 years? And I'm like, well, if I think about it, I'm an Eagle Scout. I've worked at multiple restaurants. I've helped an exceptional amount of people. I've gotten in and out of debt. I've been homeless. And, I'm still doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And apparently, according to Lance, you got till 33 until you, physically hit peak. So I got 11 years of, quality. And for the first, I'm going to say the first, really until I was, 16, my brain wasn't even active or on for most of it. I've been an active adult these last, let's say 4 years, maybe 6 years total. There's been so much more that I've experienced in that amount of time than in the previous amount of time, just because you're developing and becoming a human.
Right.
And now I am a human and I'm becoming the human I want to be.
Yeah.
And so this is very much feeling like a threshold moment, which is going to be kind of crazy. I could come back and I could come back on the show maybe if I visit town, just hop in. I'm just like, what's going on, guys? I am a neurosurgeon now. I just happen to be the best at it.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
Brains, simple. Oranges, now that's the real trick. Quite literally, no thought on worrying about the future right now, because you can't.
Right.
You quite literally can't. You can kind of control your general direction of where you're going to go, but I've realized that you're just off of literally raw math and science, not even going at it from the I guess what one would say is the more the fruitier level of the whimsical level of you're just trying to be reductive so that you don't think about the dark side of it. But let's look at the dark side, the nihilistic side, the existential side. More likely to be hit by, or more likely to die in traffic within 33 miles of my own, or a couple of miles of my own house. Mathematically, I'm doing great, because that hasn't happened yet. It's I shouldn't be worried about it, because there is a certain end point to my existence. That part's guaranteed. So I got to do everything I want to do before that happens.
Yeah, it's good to think about the future and where you're going, but you don't have to worry about it.
It's not condemning.
Yeah, you cross some bridges when you get there.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
It would at this point also math. Speaking of math, that's MATH, by the way. I understand that I have a bit of I understand I have a bit of a stutter sometimes, and I'm hard to communicate with. But
that's funny.
Financially, it would be better academically and financially for me to take another break. This time not because I'm in debt, but because I have something I want to pursue. Do that. If it's something I have to get out of my system, get it out of my system. If it's something that is going to take off, it takes off and frees me up to come back to college later, more successful, willing to learn, here to go to college, not because I feel like it's going to be all of my time experience at college is I got to hurry up and get college done so I can start my life. I got to hurry up and finish college. And I feel like that's a pressure a lot of people experience, a lot of students, a lot of freshmen, especially. They're just 4 years in and out, and then I'm off doing whatever it is I want to do that's vaguely related to this thing I picked.
Yeah.
versus like I've been struggling through it, quite literally. Been like slowly gaining advantage here and there, and it's like I've hit a certain point where I have to make a hard choice. Either I do the things I want to do that will make me happiest, or I put those things off till later to go and then do the things I want to do that'll make me happiest. And it's not even a level of like delayed gratification, because when I'm done and I have my degree, what I want to do is go off and be an independent podcaster.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, people can give you help and advice all you want and they want, but when it comes down to it, you know you better than anybody.
Right.
So you got to make a decision for you.
Specifically, 2 a.m. Ethan knows me best. That's the one. That's the animal.
Is that the best one to listen
That's the animal that has kept me alive the longest.
Oh my god.
Walking around just being like, cheese puffs. Think about it. And I'm like, let me sleep. Please. And he's like, no. Think about it.
Well, cool, dude. I think you can do it. I wish you the best.
Thank you, Taylor.
You're welcome.
I'll be listening.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Please, no, don't. I mean, do, but don't, no. I am also kind of, like, worried on one level,
I'll
not
make
only
all our
of, like...
friends subscribe.
Oh, jeez. I am worried on one level of it being, like, genuinely entertaining, because I've never released anything that I've ever written. Like, it's all been saved on, like, hard drives and, like, kept just for myself. And I also am, like, I haven't listened to my recorded voice in a while. And the podcast is going to be a lot of me reading my own scripts. I've done a lot of practice and gained a lot of confidence doing Cruisin the Planet, doing this show, getting more comfortable speaking, working on writing and scripting and stuff like that, coming up with cool characters and interesting storylines. But, like, rubber's about to meet the road in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I say a couple of months because I still got to do the move. But, getting slightly worried about it.
Yeah,
Nah.
fine.
Do it.
It's supposed to be fun, and it's going to be fun. I know that. Especially because there are some characters that are just literally me being able to just be as goofy and weird as possible.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it does.
I hope it'll be fun. It should be fun.
Yeah.
If it's not fun, I'm doing something wrong.
It's good to be a little nervous. It shows that you care and, like, you put a lot
True.
into it.
I genuinely want it to work.
Yeah.
Is quite literally it. Like, I'm nervous because I worry that I would be... It's not even worried that I'd be wasting it. I'm worried that I'm going to go out and do it and then not be as good at it as I want to be. But that's not a bad thing, because that means that I am going to keep getting better at it.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
true.
start somewhere.
Like, quite literally, I'm going to go out, release it, no one's going to listen to it, and I'll be like, all right, that means I need to do better marketing. I need to do better this and better that. And, like, I do genuinely think that the show is going to get better the more I work on it.
Plus
by
algorithms.
actually producing it. True. And
Stuff takes time.
well, if we want to take a look backwards, speaking of, like, things taking time, first few episodes of this show were rough. They were very bad.
You remember that weird echo?
The audio
reverb
echo,
thing
the
happened the
ghost
first
being
episode?
constantly involved with the show,
Yeah.
the cameras being really, really bad. And, like, it took about 2 years, and we're at a point where this show is, like, just sort of generally easy to flow through. I had a lot of trouble early on. It would take me, like, a whole day to figure out what I want to do. Now my notes section is tiny for Cruisin the Planet, and I have all of my intros and outros set up. Like, it's a one-page script for the entire episode. It used to be, like, 2 whole pages of, like, I'm going to talk about this and this and this and this and this. Like, didn't understand how to keep engage one person and another person. It always had to be someone I was already friendly with. At no point could, like, 2 years ago, Ethan have an interview with the editor-in-chief of JTAC, and it would be good.
No.
At no point.
That was good.
And yet, last week, we did it, and I think it went great.
Yeah, I'm hoping Cruisin will
We got little buttons.
continue to adapt and develop, and you have set a really good foundation for the next host.
Thank you. I do want to come back on the show once I leave.
You should.
Yes,
I
you
wanna
should.
come
you should be
back.
on this side.
I know. I'll finally be able to be on the other side and
That'll be
just
weird.
monologue, and the host is at my mercy.
It would be weird.
I'll just be sitting there just like, all right, like Paper Mask doing this. What have we changed? What's the same? Run me through this. I want to see it.
We'll have the wheel back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try. I guess you're in control now.
There you go.
You get the wheel.
Hotkeys. More hotkeys, Taylor.
Yeah.
We need some cool, like, fun hotkeys to put in there.
I think the show would only benefit from those, yeah.
Yes.
And the podcast coming out on Friday.
Yes.
Music
business
We
babes.
have little segments of music and like it's structured. Like we have a term time. So we will define a term that either we use in the episode or is important or it's relevant in some way.
Yeah.
And then at the end we have exit trivia. So there's kind of like Jeopardy music and we quiz each other on what we think like the other one should know or something that happened in the news or
I love that.
something on the topic. But we do add sound effects.
That's fun.
There was
that is it really exciting.
We were talking about equipment, and it's in the first episode. We're talking about equipment, and we were just going on about it, and we're like, and we just stopped talking, and we were just thinking about all the different types of equipment you can have. It's in the trailer.
Fancy.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, let's just pause and think about it. I was like, insert cricket noises, and I put little cricket noises. So
That's great.
we also have sound effects.
Cool.
I love that. I'm excited. I'm excited to
It's
hear it.
fun. I think if you like music in any way, you'll like the podcast.
Cool.
Cha, dude. Something to learn.
Shaw, dude. Oh
And
my
the trailer
gosh.
is out already.
Trailer is out.
All right.
Go listen
All right.
to it.
Fancy.
Music business
yes,
babes.
it's currently on Spotify. If you want to look
Yes.
it up there,
Yes,
you can
yes.
find it. There's a link that Taylor now has, so if you want to follow Taylor's account to see when things get updated. Currently, I am doing everything in my power to get Apple to let us log in.
Yes.
I've finally gotten us logged in. I finally have everything ready and submitted. The reason I asked you that question earlier, technically our art is too big a file. I've fixed it now, but if you ever have to make a freaking thumbnail for a podcast and you want it to be on Apple Podcasts, you have to make sure that in the RSS feed URL, iTunes image is set to true, like in the code.
Yeah.
Secondarily, you need to make sure that it's no larger than 500 kilobits.
Okay. Okay.
Which turns out, like, nice looking art, like the stuff that you had sent us and whatnot, is like 1 meg minimum.
Yeah. Okay.
So we didn't lose any. It still looks nice.
Okay.
Still looks good.
How did you fix it? You just changed the.
So good thing is it's a JPEG.
Yes.
JPEGs are very easily compressible. So that's what I did is I compressed the image. We lost a couple of colors in the pink.
Oh, okay.
But it's still pink.
Okay.
There's no hard edges that showed up. It's fixed now. I just need to wait for Apple Podcasts to get back to us, and then we should be up on running.
Cool. That's what I was wondering. I've had a couple people ask if it's on Apple Podcasts yet.
It is not
I've said
on
no,
there
not yet. Yeah.
Well,
cool. Progress.
It's because it.
When do you think the first episode's gonna?
It's coming out. Well, you can catch it on Spotify right now, but it will be out Friday at 5 p.m. So tomorrow.
Sick. Okay.
Fantastic.
If you're watching this right now.
Cool, folks.
Fantastic.
May
And then
7th.
Journey of the Texans is also coming out slowly.
Yeah.
We're having the exact same problem on that end. Apple did this fun thing where they went from iTunes to Apple Podcasts, right?
Yeah.
So instead of just logging into iTunes, I now have to log into Apple Podcasts, which is a service that doesn't work on certain browsers, but nobody tells you that. They just say, make sure you're logged into your Apple ID. One, we didn't know how to log into our Apple ID technically because we needed two-factor authentication.
Yeah.
That's why you need the iPad now every time you log into it, or you have to answer the lobby phone. I had to set all that up. Then, after we wait like 8 hours for that to get set up, continued working on it so that we could finally get logged into the proper place. And then once we got there, I submitted all the information, something that I should have been able to do from the very get-go, but whatever. And now we have an issue with our artwork.
You sound a little upset about that.
Yeah.
I am a little upset about it because it was so easy a year ago, or 2 years, a year and a half ago, when it was just like... Our RSS, I go into Spree. I swear that it might just be Anchor. It could be Anchor messing with us because Spotify works perfectly fine with all the new shows.
Dude, when you're in digital media, it's just like
Compatibility.
it's so rough, man.
The worst part is like server. There's quite literally the phrase server response times. I've done all of I've uploaded I've saved it, but now Anchor has to talk to Apple and Anchor's owned by Spotify, so Spotify and Apple have to talk to each other. They're competing companies, so I don't know if they've added a couple extra microseconds to make things slower for me. And then I have to then it has to read the updated RSS feed and go, all good, Chief. Send it through. And then I have to press a button.
Wow.
Then we have to wait for manual review, where someone listens through and is just like, oh, it's not an explicit show, it is an explicit show, this, that, bada, bada.
Bada, bada.
Basically.
Bada, boy.
Really what they have to do is make sure you're not it's a very important process, the review for submission, because
it's just for new ones, yeah.
It's for new shows and old shows alike, because yet they have to make sure that you're not trying to steal somebody else's content and upload it on there, because once it's been like reviewed and submitted, very hard for you to get your show back if it's been swiped by somebody. And so it's useful because there are people who like to steal things.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty useful.
We would already be done if Apple didn't go from iTunes to Podcast Connect like on Monday when they did it.
So we'll see how long it takes now.
But you can catch it on Spotify.
You can catch it on Spotify.
Go to Spotify.
I'm putting it on all the other places too.
Search for Music Business Babes.
Yes.
Cool. Chaw, dude.
Chaw, dude. Indeed.
Chaw,
dude. Indeed.
Chaw.
What does it even mean?
It's like,
So.
yeah.
But like,
Chaw. It's like, yeah, but you had a little chaw on it.
cha.
So, after my little
it's like
rant.
Saw, dude. Like, what's up? But this is like, instead of like, what's up, dude? It's like, yeah, dude.
After my little rant, we very obviously, I think we need to relax.
Tea.
I have found a service called Dollar Tea Club. You can find them at www.theteaclub.com.
Theteaclub.com.
Or you can find them also at theteaclub.com. It's an English joke.
So do you have a subscription?
I don't have a subscription yet because I would have to immediately change my address.
Gotcha.
I also
that makes sense.
I don't have like an infuser and a place to sort of store my stuff. But I know Cole is moving into a new place.
I have a tea infuser that's shaped like a shark.
Aww.
And the tea goes in its tail. And then you hook it onto the mug by its mouth. Like its jaw. So it's like jaw bites onto the mug.
So
tea infuses from its butt.
So we can...
That's the best.
We can start at their plans. This isn't an ad. This is just something that like I'm genuinely interested in because I've looked up how to make a nice coffee, and I want to get some like Find My Coffee. There are some tests online now for companies that will send you like the real roast that you like. Because I've only ever had like rough ground Colombian coffee in hot water type stuff, but there might be the coffee that is for me. And then on tea, I have had multiple types of tea, and I do have opinions on that. I've learned, and so I want to find like the right one for me. But if we go through their plans, we've got the $1 a month is 3 new blends every month.
Wow.
Each of them, it makes about 6 to 8 cups per month.
Okay.
So that's the tester, right? So each sample is about 2 to 3 cups based on strength.
Okay.
Right? So you get to taste it twice. That gives you like a whole week's worth of tea for $1.
Alex S. reviewed it and said, "It's a delicious surprise every month." That's adorable.
Delicious surprise.
I assume you can buy the flavors of the month if you decide you like it.
We're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
Then we have the Sensei package.
She's excited.
Which is one 50-gram pouch, which is about 20 to 25 cups. The monthly samples, a free tea infuser on your first order, and 3 honey sticks, which are like brand item.
God, those are good.
Y'all have had them before?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if they were good.
But that sounds
You haven't? Bruh, when I was little, and the one and only time I've ever been in Whole Foods, when you walked in, I went with my friend, because her mother was bougie. So when we walked in,
Ooh.
no, it was a compliment. I would love to be like her mother when I grow up. Anyway, so when you walk in Whole Foods, I don't know if they still do it because I was like 4, very faint memory.
Mm.
They had a little section on the side, kind of like where you get carts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you remember a long time ago, like McDonald's used to have a person there with like smiley stickers for returns. It's kind of like that kind of setup.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that. A long time ago. But anyway, so we walked into Whole Foods and there's this little setup and it had all these different types of honey sticks. So they had like different flavored honeys.
Wow.
So it was free. So I don't know. I think that you could just walk in and get one. I assume there was probably like a tea or coffee place around the corner. I was little. All I was looking at was the honey sticks.
The honey stick
So
was just your
her,
thing.
you just
Her mom would be like, "What flavor do you want?" And I'd always just get the normal one. But it was so nice. She'd just get one and she'd cut it open for us, and we'd just walk around the store like.
that sounds amazing.
But they're super good in
That's
tea.
really
It's
cool.
supposed to be like easier to, like, both travel with and then dissolve because you just cut it open. Poof.
Yeah, speaking of travel with, it also comes, this package, the Sensei plan, comes with 10 tea filters, which are ones where you put the loose leaf into like a little pouch.
Yeah.
You can make your own tea bag, basically. So you wrap that up with a tea stick, throw a mug in, and you can, like, on the go, instead of having to bring out, like, your loose leaf and your infuser and your mug and hot water, you can just be like, here's a hot water, here's, like, basically a tea bag. I throw that in, I drop the honey stick, and I have, like, tea for lunch while I'm at work in an office or something.
This is so cool.
That is
And
not $1.
That is a, like, 1 cup per day recommended version, and that's about $12.70 a month. Which is not bad, I would say.
It's not.
If you drink 2 cups daily, then that is $8 a month.
So cute.
Which is like, it adds an extra $8. I'm sorry, so it's like $20 a month.
$20.
My bad.
It's a cute little packaging. The honey stick has a little picture of a bee on it. They should sponsor this podcast of how much we're obsessing over this right now.
We've got the how many weeks, days, hours, minutes, seconds until the monthly samples switch. So you want to order before that. Then we have the sommelier. You'll receive a perfect amount of tea, where you can pick 1 cup, a couple cups a week, a cup per day, 3 cups daily.
Woo.
Samples of the month, tea filter, and a tea infuser.
No honey sticks.
No honey sticks,
I
but
bet
you can
add
buy honey.
them
You can add them in the cart
for
on their
$1.95.
thing. They're like $1 a piece, and that the $25 a month for 3 cups of tea daily.
Oh my goodness.
I think they're about to get all my money.
I know.
It's so pretty.
You can set it up as a
too.
gift for somebody if you want to just be like, here's a little bit of tea every once in a while. Now, with our remaining time, I want to go through their loose leaf teas.
I'm so excited.
Oh my goodness.
They have 40 plus blends.
About this.
There's
Can we get old ones? Like, because there's 40 plus. Like, can we, like, look at all of them and get our favorites? Or do you just get what they send you?
Let's see.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because I'd be going through and getting, like, one of each. And picking my favorite.
All right. Browse blends. Here we go. So, black tea, green tea, herbal and wellness teas,
Ooh, oh my
fruit
goodness.
teas, and rubos, which I don't really know. They're a South African plant that is a caffeine-free tea.
Yeah.
I have had one of those. I'm trying to remember if I did an episode or a show on it.
Oh my goodness.
I think I did, but I can't remember if I liked it or not. I only had it once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
try it again.
options.
I got it from IKEA.
So, I know we all grew up roughly at the proper time for this reference to work. So I'm gonna put us into the green tea section,
Okay.
and I'd like to show off the Uncle Iroh blend.
Oh, no way.
No way.
Okay, now I'm
okay.
getting
Yeah.
It's
Now
a
I'm getting
superb
it.
synergy of jasmine green tea and luscious lychee fruit.
Oh.
Sweet fruit finish makes this blend exquisite, exceptionally
my.
taste.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it right now.
How much you getting for how much?
I don't know. It's loading.
I want Uncle
I have
Iroh
to have
tea.
that one.
Okay, but you gotta drink the tea and watch Avatar.
Absolutely. Like the scene, like
Leaves
lotus
on the vine.
flower, like yeah.
You watch Leaves on the Vine while drinking the tea. Just crying of like,
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
But
oh my gosh.
they've got
that hurts that hits right there.
It
Long
does.
Right in the
Island.
heart.
I'm just gonna read off some names, and you tell me if you like the sound of it. Long Island strawberry,
Yes.
lemon green,
Yeah.
I like that.
lavender fields,
Never had lavender tea before.
radical raspberry,
Ooh.
I can go for raspberry.
Swedish mint,
Ooh, mint.
Green Meadows, a.k.a. Irish breakfast.
Oh, I love Irish breakfast.
I've never
breakfast.
had that.
English breakfast, superior. Irish is like very close number 2.
Okay, I've only ever had English. I'm gonna have to try Irish.
I might have one. I'll have to bring it in for you to try.
We've got greens and roses.
Roses.
It's like Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
That's funny.
It has a sweet cherry flavoring, subtle rose hints, right? Yeah, some of these you read the name and you're like, oh, I get it, and then you go into the like description of it. No, I would not have expected that. Here is all of them. Birthday cake tea.
What?
No.
That's gonna be
Candy
really
cane
sweet.
crunch.
Okay, I'm about the peppermint.
Blue spring oolong. Chocolate strawberry.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds. Yep. That's a dessert tea right there, and I'm about it.
Another dessert tea, cookies and cream.
Oh my god.
These sound like they're not tea.
It does
It's the
sound
part
like
that has me so confused.
But I need a separated
Cold
from,
Be
like,
Gone blend.
dessert.
Oh.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. We could have used that during the freeze.
They're so pretty.
Yeah.
They are very pretty.
They just have
blends.
standard Earl Grey. They've got creme caramel, fruit smoothie,
That's so pretty.
ginger peach, frosted cherry, apple, strawberry, cranberry.
Ooh, I could go for an apple tea. I like that.
This one's everything nuts. I'll read the description. You're gonna love this.
Yes. Give it
Ooh,
to me.
ooh, 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 go nuts, simple, exquisite, almond and hazelnut. Definitely a nut tea.
Wow, they
They emphasize
they
the
really went
tea.
ham on that
These
one.
people are having fun on their website.
Okay,
It looks nice.
gotta
It
get
looks
this.
professional. There's
I
one called
have to
Happy
do
Tummy Tea.
Oh.
It's a digestive booster.
So do these change every month?
No.
Or is this okay? Good.
These are, I haven't seen them change since the last time I found them. They could come in and out of stock
That makes sense.
just because I don't know how big their batches are, but I've seen most of these and they haven't been adjusted. You can get the mystery tea, or you get a mystery pouch every single month.
And you can sample different ones.
Yes,
Like I
you
was
can
looking
just
at
pick
Iro,
yeah.
You can just choose to sample it for $1.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm so happy about this right now.
Mhm.
You know
I
what?
figured
Tomorrow we're
'cause,
getting
like,
paid, and I'm just ordering.
Exactly. I was like, might as well sneak this in on y'all now.
I know.
I've always I play a game with my buddies. I play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends, as well as a game called Commander or Elder Dragon Highlander. It's a Magic the Gathering product where we play like it's a multiplayer format for a traditionally non-multiplayer game. So but you use the exact same cards. So the cards that are balanced for it's a trading card game. I'm a nerd. The cards that are balanced for 1v1 play make no sense in this game. It's more powerful to have a like super weak creature that can do a really cheap repeatable effect than it is to have a giant like a 6/6 creature in a 1v1 game is decimating. Is like a 4/4, like a 4 damage creature. Every time it hits you it deals 4 damage is the scariest thing in the like most competitive format. It's nothing in the multiplayer one because like the board gets wiped or your spells get countered. It's literally a wizard fight if you were to like listen to the game being played. But because we're all so like absolute smart chads, we're always trying to outplay each other, and it quite literally turns into, as my buddy Zach described, a bunch of generals sitting around not making a move to not lose our soldiers and pulled off the ultimate one card win. Now imagine that with a bunch of Uncle Iro tea. Like the aesthetic.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
The feeling of like, all right,
Just
got
a
a
bunch of White Lotus.
Exactly. Got a
Yeah.
coffee for him. Got some tea for the boys. We're all chilling there, just like, I'm going to move my creature and it'll attack Zach. However, Zach, we have made an agreement that I can attack you and you can attack me until we are both at a certain life total, at which point it's every man for himself. I also destroy Trevor's creature because you have made an agreement with my enemy, Aaron. As such, you are enemies with me. That's literally how we play. So I feel like it just fits so well.
Yes.
And the blends are so cheap. I've looked around a couple other places. I know that you're supposed to support your local shops when it comes to things like this. There's not a lot of local shops in Keller. The next option I thought was Austin. And it's just there's no competition between this and Austin. The collection is just so much larger. I feel slightly bad for promoting it on this, but I do know that like it's just a good selection.
The blends look beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really hoping to get some.
Hope that it turns out well. I hope that it's all good. Otherwise, I'm just like gonna be very upset and disappointed.
We'll have to come back and
Yes, we'll have to come back and give an update on Cruisin' for the folks listening.
for sure.
Over the summer, just like a random episode of like the tea turned out good.
I've already put a couple in my cart while we were talking.
Yes. Okay, I'm getting some.
Are you staying in town over summer?
Yes.
So
I can update everybody.
You'll have a very easy time. You just hop on the Instagram and just be like, the tea, it's here.
I'll probably talk about it on morning tea for whoever wants to.
That will make your show so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
You get monthly blends, so you can walk through that.
I've been trying to figure out how I can get different types of tea without buying an entire box.
Yeah,
which is what I do right now, and I
sample pouches, baby.
I even had to learn like what to do with the tea I didn't like. Like, I had to look that up, and I talked about it the other day on the show. I was like, well, apparently you can use, like, old tea bags or not old tea bags, but the tea bags you don't use as deodorizers. Mm-hmm. So you can just stick them in your, like, drawers and stuff.
Shoes. Put them in your shoes.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes. I'm super excited. And apparently, if you, like, open the tea bag up and leave it in an open container in your fridge, it can help with the smell in the fridge, too.
Oh.
Yeah,
neat.
Food doesn't last long enough to smell in my fridge, but I bet for y'all it does.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, when we use when we used to feed raw for the dogs.
Yeah, dogs.
It would be a lot of meat smell, so. But yeah.
So I figured all of you would enjoy that.
Yes.
It'd be a bit of a, like, going away thing of, like, here's a cool, fun thing I found.
Yeah.
And we can all enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because you won't be on next episode, and that one will probably be the more sad one, because it is Rissa, who is also going away, Jake, who is also going away, possibly Carly, because I already had to say goodbye to Shay today.
Yeah.
And so the digital media team's falling apart. It's just me making a video next week, so we'll figure it out. But it's I believe it's all for the better. I am making a decision that quite literally only affects me.
Mm-hmm.
In like the long run of things. I'm not like, my partner lives here in town, but I'm 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm moving out of country or out of city.
Right.
We already made an agreement of like we'll come back and forth with each other, and we found a bunch of video games to play online together.
That's good.
That's cute.
And so that I'm not going to be losing a ton of stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I do come back to college very quickly, I will have a lot more money.
Yeah.
That's true.
That'll help.
I did the math on how much I need, and I still need so much money to continue college if I wanted to. That I either need Coca-Cola itself to give me their money, or I got to do something else. Because I won't take on loans. I've had that conversation many times.
Mm-hmm.
It would be silly to take on loans at this point.
That's right.
I am done with all of my bits. Do y'all have anything you want to talk about? Anything you have releasing? Taylor, we talked a bit about your show coming out. Cole?
I'm good right now.
You're good right now?
I'm still working on something for Making Space. We'll see what happens.
So maybe next week we'll do a little announcement.
Yeah, hopefully.
If early next week you can get me all the specifics, I will tell them.
Okay.
I will tell the people.
So do we know who's gonna take this over, or can we say if we know, or do we know?
I've talked with Lance on it. There are 2 options right now.
Okay.
And so we do not know specifically who it is.
Cool.
However, I should be able to, when the show kicks back open, be on the first episode of the new series.
That'd be great.
To be like, hello everybody, I'm on the other side of the table now. That way it's not super confusing and all. Like whenever we started this show up with the old hosts in like done with college and like out of town and doing their own job things. I think they commented on Facebook and they were just like, stealing our show, are we? Why I oughta.
Yeah, we definitely changed the format of this show completely from what they used to do.
I think it was a joke that they said those things, because it was stuff that like you don't say. If you were really upset, you would do something about it, and they were just like, stealing our stuff. Goodness
I'm sure
gracious.
They were just joking.
I hope so. Otherwise, it's gonna get real weird.
I feel like if they were actually upset, they probably just wouldn't have said anything. They would just be like,
They would have hopped in the chat and just been like, get out of here.
Yeah, they wouldn't have.
Change your name. Give us our flag back. But I'm done. I have all of my bits collected. And I'm done for the week, so I get a weekend to plan my departure over next week.
Do you have any finals? It's finals week.
Finals are online and done.
Wow.
Because both my classes were online. I'm done, dude.
Oh, that must be enough.
I only had 2 classes, so it's not that difficult to be done.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Because both were online, so they just gave us like 3 windows, 3 days to do our stuff. One of them was over the weekend. The other one was like Monday or Tuesday.
That's good. You're done.
Done.
Wow.
Completely finished.
Wow.
Right.
Well, close. I had an 8 a.m. final. It was for my science class too, which I hate.
My
science.
buddy over in
I'm just not good at it.
what is he in? He's in UT Dallas, I believe, and he's there for game design, and he was going through like everyone's finishing up their meetings for the year, and he's like inviting the new people that are coming into his organization for like game design and whatnot, but he's also trying to test at the same time because he's an officer.
Yeah.
So he's like a student representative. Yeah. And he's got like 5 classes that he does because he has the full scholarship. He's the shining light, the smartest boy. Beautiful Andrew.
Smartest boy.
He's killing it, but he was just like we were trying to talk to him one day, and every single Monday through Friday, he was just like, have a test, have to study for a test, have a test, have to study for a test, and we're like, Andrew, play games with us.
Yeah, that's been my life.
We're all of us are done. Get over here, and he's like, But it'll be free over the summer to hang out and join in on the tea.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
So,
like swinging it back around.
I'm going to start the outro music.
Okay.
So, listeners, viewers, we come to a close on this here episode. I'm going to turn that down if you're doing balloons again. Goodness. If you showed up late or wish to revisit us, you can find this show on our YouTube channel at Tarleton Radio or as a video, or you can listen on Apple Podcasts, no longer iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere else you get podcasts. For updates about the show and other interesting things we make here at the station, follow us on all the links in the description. This has been your episode of Cruisin the Planet, where you can find something to do in and around Stephenville every week. We didn't really talk about that much, but we did talk about tea. If you want to do something relaxing. Now, if you still have a final to take, you can order yourself up a cup. Or if you really needed one on the go, I think there's a boba tea place in town you can run to. It's over by the Staples in that big parking lot. Yeah. Taylor says it's good.
It's good.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to recommend us to your friends. And if you have any questions or suggestions, ask them in the comments or as a review of this show if you happen to be able to do that. I will be on next week. But then, once that's over, the show will take a pause over the summer as a lot of us go out to do fun things here and there, and everything shall restart next semester. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Done there. One more to go.
The mics are on, so. Just